Hey, Austin here for the first update of 2025, January. And as always, we just want to come on an almost monthly basis and let you know kind of what your gifts and prayers are doing and impacting around the world. And I just want to say, just on a quick note here, I want to say thank you for those of you that stepped up above and beyond, and new donors who have come in from the last part of 2024 to really help get us and get us a good start into this year. And so thank you. Let me talk to you about kind of what God's doing through you. I want to show you a quick picture. This is a guy named Frederick. I don't know Frederick, and that is the point. This is the strategy that God's given us, and it's working in several places. And I'm just going to tell you a quick story. So Isaac is a worship leader and a guy that trains other pastors and worship leaders in Uganda. And we pour into him and help him and in all kinds of ways with strategy and with a little bit of funding, and also with just some teaching. And so he's got it in his heart now that he is not the guy that teaches everybody in Uganda and in Kenya and all this, but he is starting to develop leaders in other cities. And what Frederick is doing right there is he is actually presenting some Worship Catalyst material that he only heard about that morning, but he's already communicating it. And so putting multiplication in the DNA is the point. And so that's just a quick story of how that can happen in other places around the world as well, where things can just keep moving. Another thing I want to tell you about, speaking of multiplication, is literally this week we just started pouring into some leaders in two different cities in India. We already have a leader in Nagpur, but now these are in two different cities, the north and the south, and they're a part of one church network that has over 2,000 churches, and they planted 150 of them last year. And so the idea here is to invest in these leaders in this network, who are then going to be able to put Worship Catalyst DNA and training and multiplication into their training process for the hundreds and even thousands of churches that they have, and they'll be planting in the future. And so we're at the very beginning of this, but I just wanted to show you what the future could look like in networks like this all around the world, as we can invest in a few who can then multiply it out. And so the last thing is just a church right here in Florida I want to talk about, called Radiant City Church, and got some great leaders there down in Boca Raton, Florida. They just planted this church over the last year or two. You met them a few months ago. Mike Machalzik has been doing a lot of the technology changes in a rented facility that they're getting to use, a church that they're renting. And so God is blessing this church, and they are just growing and reaching so many people for Christ. They baptized 10 or 15 just last week. And we got to take a deep dive with them last week, 2 solid days of just going deep into mission, vision, values, and strategies for their worship ministry. And so I'm so thankful for the opportunity to pour into churches right here in the U.S. while we also expand globally. And you're making all that possible. So thanks for your investment. Thanks for please praying for us. Pray for Worship Catalyst, pray for Cammie and me. Pray every single time you think about us. Just say a quick word. We need that more than anything else. And so we love you. Have an awesome rest of your week and month, and we'll talk to you again in February. Don't be a stranger. Reach out anytime. Bye.